welcome to another one of my speed builds. For today, our travels bring us to Tomarang, and we're building a French house based on the Villa Jac Gui in France. And as you can notice, today we're doing things a bit differently. I thought I'd put my face in the video, and I'm probably gonna do that from now on for my voiceovers, because I got a streaming setup as a gift back in December on my birthday, and I just never used it, which is such a shame. So I'm gonna try and use it from now on. So yeah, excuse like the impromptu preparation of this recording. I'm not sure if I'm doing things correctly. I literally just whipped it up in like a few minutes. But anyway, let's go back to the video. Today we're building Villa Jac Gui. As I said, it's in France, and I'm gonna read some information about it from a website. I actually could not find the real house on the map at all, and I couldn't find any information about it, but there is an interior design studio that made some interior design for the villa, and they did write like a few information about the villa itself and the project. So the design studio is called Cabane and Chateau, and here's what they wrote about the villa. I'm also gonna insert a real life picture so you can see that I based this build on it. A magnificent Second Empire Archacon style house located in the Ville D'automne district. And Ville D'automne is the autumn district of Archacon in France. And that place is absolutely gorgeous. They have all these different types of architecture in there. Like they have famous villas and houses that are based on different types of architecture and countries. It's a really magical and interesting looking place. They have like 4 different districts. They're called like after the seasons. So yeah, this one is in the autumn district. And this residence, over 200 square meters, offered the opportunity to create a blend of bow windows. I think it's bay windows, but whatever. The red brick facade and its distinctive architecture that we so admire. The clients desired a contemporary and refined decor. And I did take some inspiration from the actual decor that they did for this house, but slightly improved, if I can say so myself. So what they said is we wanted to keep the blue color of the bow windows, combining it with noble materials such as oak, leather, and brass in order to highlight the brightness and charm of the building. I did do some of that actually in my own interior, and that's actually all they wrote about this build. So let's just discuss the exterior for now while I build it. So what you're seeing currently is actually the backside of the house. And the thing about this villa is that I couldn't find a real photo of any other facades except the front facade. So the backside and the sides of the house are improvised, but I did copy a lot of the elements from the front of the house. And then for the back, I did struggle a bit for like what I wanted to do, and I'm not entirely happy with it, to be honest. And in addition to that, I really struggled with the roof, and this is coming from somebody who really enjoys doing roofs in general, but this roof was honestly such a pain, and it was not an enjoyable process, to say the least. Also, I wanted to say that I'm building this in Tomarang and not in any other like European or French looking world because of the place that this real villa is located in. It's a really beautiful coastal area with a lot of palm trees. So I looked through a lot of the worlds that we have in The Sims 4, and none of them really fit perfectly with what I had in mind. So I just went for the tropical place that we have, which is Tomarang, and I didn't go for Solani because it's like way too tropical. Tamarang was a good compromise despite it being a Asian world, but somehow it just works, you know, especially this specific lot here by the sea. It just blends in nicely with the architecture of the houses around it. Also, for the backside here, I did go back and remove some of the plants because I just thought that it's way too much and too overdone, and I didn't want the lot itself to look too tropical. So I did delete most of these plants, especially the tropical ones that come with the for rent pack. Which are the plants that are, you know, existing in this world where I'm building. Here we are in the interior. We're starting first with the entrance, and it's a pretty basic room. There's not much going on here, but I'm gonna show you a few pictures of the actual interior of the villa and what the interior design studio did for it. So here is the living room, and I heavily based my own living room on this. There's a lot of copied elements, if I can say so. For example, the windows and the doors, and also the walls with the same colors and the same molding design. This was all like copied from the actual villa. I also tried to match the actual floor, as you can see, and I also used the same like color of the couch, the same kind of furniture, kinda. I took inspiration from like the metal legs of the armchairs and the coffee table, so I tried to use furniture with that same kind of vibe. And I also copied like the shelving they have on the wall, the back wall there, and I absolutely love how it turned out. Like I even put a sideboard and these two side tables just like they did in the real life villa. And I love the contrast between the white walls and then this beautiful chocolate brown wall. You're gonna see me play a lot with the positioning of the paintings on the walls. There's a lot of like clever color blocking and playing with shapes. Next to the living room, we just have this little tiny bar area. The thing with this build and this floor plan is that there are some tiny rooms on the side of some of the rooms, and they're like fully windowed, such as this room here. So it was a bit hard to figure out what to do with them. So in this one, I just added a small bar. And then we have a second room that's exactly like this one, just by the dining room. I turned that into an art room. I used a lot of the painter kit. I forgot the name of it, but like all the items in it are from that kit. And the dining room itself is inspired by the real dining room, but it's not entirely like based on it. I loved the fireplace with the mirror on top of it, and then the alternation between two different kinds of chairs on the dining table. So I did use that also here in The Sims. And then for this door, actually, I noticed some stained glass doors in some of the interior photos. namely in the dining room. So I wanted to also do that in The Sims, and the door that worked perfectly is the door from the I think it's like Tea Solarium kit or something like that. And then I put some mirrors on top of it from another pack, which is, I believe, Growing Together, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I just did that to add more height to the door since it's a short wall door. And I love how it turned out, but if you don't have those pack and kit, you can easily replace this with something else. Now we're in the kitchen of the build, and this is not based on the real kitchen because I did not see any pictures of it, but I absolutely love what I did in The Sims. I also played here with the color blocking and the shelving and the shapes. It's just really, really cute, and I love how all these shelves look, how the color of the walls match the oven hood exactly, and I love it. I'm obsessed with it, honestly. And I use the same fireplace throughout the house. This is the country fireplace from Hey Harry. And as usual, I added a coffee corner with a microwave and a dishwasher. And then there is another corner of the kitchen where I put the fridge. are the two bedrooms of the house, and I did take inspiration from the real bedrooms in this villa. There are two bedrooms that I saw in the picture, and first of all, I like how the ceiling and the walls are one color for each of the bedrooms. So I also did something like that in The Sims, and I noticed that they used some nice bold colors for the walls, like one of the bedrooms is orange and the other one is light blue. So that's kind of what I did in The Sims. And another thing I noticed in the real bedrooms is that the bed is kind of in the middle of the room with a headboard behind it. So I did do that in The Sims, which I think is pretty interesting, and I don't do that usually. And you're gonna notice that in these rooms I really played around a lot with the colors. So this first bedroom is orange, and then this burgundy color, like just a hint of it here on one of the walls and then in some of the paintings. And then for each of the bedrooms, there's also this really tiny room on the side. And what I did with that is just adding like vanity tables, desks, and they're completely functional. But the other space that's behind the arch is not functional because it's just a one tile white space. So it's not functional in The Sims. And then for the second bedroom, I went for this beautiful blue color with also a hint of like olive green. And I really love this color combination. It's beautiful. And then after this, we just have like one last bathroom. And I do want to apologize for the recording in there, but I kind of messed up the recording. So it's kind of like things, you know, jumping around and appearing out of nowhere. I feel like I say that every single video, and I thought that I have improved my recording process, but apparently not. But yeah, that's it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this one. It's such a unique project to work on, and I hope to see you again in my next video. As usual, the download link is in the description, where you go to my Patreon and find all of the CC links and the tray files. And special thanks to my patrons. You guys are the best. For the rest of you, if you support me on Patreon, I would truly, truly appreciate that. See you next time, and love you guys. Bye!